Right. Good morning, good evening. As I always say, good something. Hero Mode Podcast, episode 12. I'll say 12 right now until I get corrected. 32. Okay, we'll make it up and say 32. I'm the host Galen. Special episode today. We'll get to the what and the why in a minute. As usual, I want to introduce my two brothers, my family. My brother, the Omega Level Mutant, Austin J. What's going on, dog?
What's up, man? I'm excited for this one. One's
It's gonna be good. And this man, he did a serious table flip to get to work from home and everything. You know what we're talking about. Sean Street, Sean Thomas.
What's going on, everybody? I'm excited for this one. We have a professional in the
building.
Yeah. So now he can back me up because I'm fighting y'all.
We gotta.
So we're not gonna get anything done.
Yeah, man, we got a tag team right here. Anyway, so as it said, special episode. Our first guest, he was gracious enough to join us. Our now good friend, Brian B. Comic Break on YouTube. If you don't follow him, if you don't know now, you know. Please follow this man. He does the Lord's work when it comes to comics. Brian, how's it going, my friend?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to get into some comics, talking Marvel, DC, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. I mean, you know, you're our first guest ever, so we really appreciate you joining us and everything, because we got humble beginnings and everything, so we need everything we got.
No, I feel like podcasts are a hard thing to get into nowadays. It's so convoluted. There's so many people out there trying to do it. You know, I think I even had a podcast for a little bit. I just, the YouTube channel obviously took precedence over that. So I focused away from doing that and figured somebody else would pick that up and do that. And I'm glad you guys are out here doing it. It's nice to be able to talk to people that enjoy comics as much as I do and read them as much as I do.
We appreciate it. So, I think the one thing, just to, no pun intended, to get the breakdown, but how'd you, humble beginnings, what's your origin story as far as, getting into comics and then transition to YouTube? And just a little audience.
So, it's funny, you guys were saying an opinion of a professional, and it's weird because I've never seen myself as a professional comic book reader, YouTuber. Well, now YouTuber nowadays, because I'm about to hit 50,000K. So I've finally accepted I can consider myself a professional YouTuber. But, it was really just on a whim. As I've talked before, I'm a previous Iraq veteran. I did 4 years in the infantry, did a year over in Iraq, got out, moved down to Florida, did a whole bunch of different things. I was gunsmithing, I've done wildland firefighting, I've done security. I've done a little bit of everything. I was an electrician for a long time, did security systems at people's homes. You name it, I've done it. So I got to the point where, I was like, I had a bunch of kids. I have 5 kids. I have 3 kids in Florida with the baby mama that lives there, and 2 kids here in Texas with my ex-wife. So obviously child support's pretty high.
I'm feeling that pain.
Around 2017, I got 100% medical disability from the VA. So that gave me the opportunity to medically retire. And with that free time, what I was doing was absolutely nothing. I was sitting in my house, smoking weed, watching Comics Explained day in and day out. And it got to the point where I was watching all of his Flash videos, and he wasn't keeping up with them, and he was skipping ones, or he wasn't covering it's in entirety. And I just thought, and this is mid-COVID, mind you, so it's like 2020, you can't really go anywhere or do anything. And I simply thought to myself, I was like, I can do that. I can put these together, I can do these videos, and I'm gonna try it. And at first, I even considered the channel to be strictly just the Flash Comics channel. It's all I was going to cover. It's the only thing I was going to cover. And then I decided to move more into doing a little bit of everything, DC Comics. Because to be honest, before I even started this channel, most of these Marvel comics that I'm reading today, I've never picked up before. So the Punisher, the X-Men comics, I picked up a little bit here and there. That's why I say I don't even consider myself an expert or a professional in these comics, because for me, the Krakoan era is more X-Men. Granted, I grew up on the animated shows and all of that fun stuff.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the Krakoan era for comic books is my definition of X-Men. And I love the direction that it's gone with it, because I love that it's not the typical X-Men we see every day, or, you know, the Days of Futures Past and so on and so forth. No, this is a different direction. And I'm actually excited to talk about Mutant Kind and where Krakoa is headed, because the recent comics make it feel like Krakoa's ending isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got into the comic book channel with the intention that this is going to take me 10 years to get popular, if it gets popular. And so I started doing videos. And if you go to my earliest video, my first video is, I think, Flash issue 750. And the quality is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. I am not nearly as enthusiastic as I am in the newer videos. In fact, it's way more, it's like me talking like this is what the Flash did. And then he goes over this way. Like, it's super boring. No one wants to watch it. The quality's bad. The videos are like 5 minutes, if that. And as time progressed, I just got better. And that's why, like, you guys, you said I think you're on 11 or 12. You know, your guys, I think they say it takes at least 50 podcasts before you've really honed it in to where you're supposed to be. And that's what it is. It's just, you know, change one thing every single episode, whether it be the audio quality, the thumbnail, you know, tweak it, twist it, see if it helps. If you like it the way it is, keep it the way it is. Like, if you see my YouTube icon, the little smiley face guy, I've stuck with him for, I think, 2 years now, and I don't have intention of changing it. But it's slowly building, and then eventually getting to I never expected this channel to grow as well as it has. You know, I roughly gained like 1,000 subscribers a month. And it's a good even pace that continues to grow. It's still going to take me another 4 years to hit 100,000 based on those numbers right now. But I always have the random video. I think my biggest video is DC Comics versus Vampires, which has like 320,000 views.
Yeah, that was popular. I did watch that one. Yeah, and that was hype. Yeah. And so, you know, it's just so really, to sum it all together, it was something that I jumped into during COVID. And because for me, buying comics as a kid wasn't something I could do. I was super poor growing up. There was no comic shops near me because I lived in fucking just way out in the country in California, where there's nothing but nobody. And so it was just like no access whatsoever, besides, you know, cartoons and things of that nature. Yeah. And it wasn't until I became more of an adult that I really started diving into comics. Now, mind you, since then I've read the important comics going back, Kingdom Come, so on and so forth. You know, things that really are just like must-read comic books,
right?
Pivotal, instrumental to the comic book industry, and stories that needed to be told. And so I've gone back and I've read a lot of those. There's still, you know, I still got some that I need to read. But yeah, I'm reading, you know, 20-30 comics a week right now, so it's hard to get back to those other comics.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and what's cool is, like, we kind of just started this channel not too long ago. How long's it been? Like 3 months?
I think like maybe summertime.
About 3 months. Yeah, it's like relatively new. Like, we hit over 100 listeners, and I don't know how, because we're always just like going off on tangents all the time. But it's good, you know. Yeah. I know a lot of stuff that we tap into too, or at least trying to be, was like the go-to source for like what's going on. You know, with especially like Marvel and DC, just kind of like focusing on that, because I know a lot of people. I mean, DC and Marvel have not made it easy for people to kind of latch on to what's going on, because it's like every week something's freaking happening. But kind of being that source where it's like the person that's on the go can like listen, they can catch up, and they can feel up to date with what's going on in the industry. Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, that was really my goal as well, is to aim in that direction and try to keep the comic book reader up to date. You know, if you guys had seen my conversation with Comics Explained, you know, he was giving me advice on how to appeal to the bigger audience, people that don't really read comics and stuff like that. And I'm starting to do that more, but my main focus over the last couple of years has been the comic book reader.
Yeah.
It has been about the person that is picking up the comic, that doesn't want to open up the comic, may want to know what's inside the comic, and so they can understand what's going on in the quickest way I can possibly break it down and give you the detail, with also leaving some in there, so if you do decide to read it, you're going to have some stuff in there that you didn't hear me say.
Yeah. I really appreciate that, because it was something how you said, you started it, you just went ahead and did it, and over time you were able to build, and you were able to see that you're progressing. Because a lot of times people start things thinking like, all right, well, it's gonna hurry up and be very good. It needs to be perfect the second I do it. But a lot of times people don't think that they just need to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get it out there. You have to be able to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And over time you slowly will build and build and build. And then that's when you build an audience, because, you were told, kind of get a broader audience, but now it's more tuned into the comic reader. So it's that niche that people are coming in like, hey, listen, you're feeding into them, the ones that want it. And you don't need to appeal to everybody. You just need to appeal to that one demographic that's what they want. And anybody who wants it goes to you. So it's really cool to see that it worked out, because a lot of times, even with this, trying to build it up, you may feel discouraged, like, we only got like 2 listeners, maybe 3, or it's only our friends that that like the post or see it. Nobody's really paying attention. But over time, as we keep going, it's nice to see somebody else who did it and is successful in doing it. So we just got to keep hitting it.
Yeah, no, it's like I always tell everybody, it's something that takes years. So always plan for it to take years, because in this era we see the people that blow up big or quickly or go viral super fast and stuff of that nature, and usually they may stick around for a little bit, but they end up dropping off. What you want is the sustainability. Like, if it's cool, if you can go viral, awesome, that's fantastic. But for the 99% of us that can't go viral, it is about consistency and getting it out every single day or every single week, however your schedule works, and making sure that you're improving on it. And as you build, it's just going to get better. I think it took me 8 months to hit 1,000 subscribers. And I think this year we're going to hit, like, what is it, year 4? I think we're going to hit this year. And we're just on the brink of 50,000. So you'll have your ups and downs. I think for the last 6 months, I was below 700 subscribers a month, which is not great for my channel. This month, I'm up to 1,500 subscribers because one video, which was the full Fall of X video.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Now,
Yep.
let me ask you this, because like, let's go. Yeah, let's just dive into the comics, because like, man, I'm reading your schedule. So, Tuesday DC. Obviously, Tuesday it's always DC for releases. Wednesday is always Marvel.
Yep.
And then indie comics, and then you put podcasts as well. So I always check my polls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We got like a comic book shop about 15 minutes from my house. Are there any comics that, like, man, I can't wait to read, and then obviously put your review on there, but then you're like, oh, I gotta read this? It's like, I'll give you a good example. Gotham War was trash for me. Batman, I was not liking it. I'm liking what's going on right now with Batman, and I'm loving X-Men, obviously, and X-Force, and even Wolverine. But are there some that were like, okay, I gotta do this for the viewer?
Yeah, there's definitely some I drop and people get mad.
Yeah.
People get mad when I drop some, but some if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna keep doing it, because then it just feels like an obligation and a job, and it's not what I want this to be. Regardless if it makes money or not, like, I don't want this to be a job. But I'm pulling up my Comixology right now, and I'm gonna go through just real quick, and I'll tell you which ones that like I'm not looking forward to reading.
Yeah,
Just off the top of my head, ones that I'm not super thrilled about, like Spirit World. I've been covering Spirit World. That's okay. Like I like the premise of it.
Yeah.
But it's not one I'm super ready to dive in. Titans, that's another one that just like that's one I could pick up or throw away and not really care about. Let me think. Shazam, I'm not going to be looking forward to because they're getting rid of the writer and creator, and Dan Mora is coming off of it, and what's his face is not going to write for it anymore. After issue 10, so I'm not too thrilled about where Shazam's going to be going, and it's just small things like that. The Gotham War wasn't too bad. I enjoyed the premise of it. I'm more into what Chip Zdarsky's doing with his Batman and the Batman of Zur-En-Arr.
Yeah,
I think that's a heavy hitter right now, and it should have gone to that. And Gotham War shouldn't have even been a thing because they wasted that. I mean, what was the point of Gotham War really at the end of the day? Like they could have just had a conversation with each other. I've said it in a bunch of videos. They could have talked to each other and handled that situation. Instead, they were just, Batman was acting irrationally. Yeah. Maybe it's the Batman of Zur-En-Arr. Maybe it's not the Batman of Zur-En-Arr. We didn't really let you know. Yeah. But yeah, it didn't make sense too much.
Because I loved, we talked about it. We loved the failsafe story arc. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of lost.
Yeah, it was cool. Then it got a little convoluted, but like I like the concept.
Yeah, yeah, and
taking it back to Tower of Babel, that was pretty good. Well, loosely, but
and
taking Batman's hand, that's a big move.
I know. Captain Hook's the guy. Yeah, turn him to Captain Hook of superhero essentially.
I see him more like Inspector Gadget, just because his hand. Every finger has something different inside of it.
Yeah,
it shot like tear gas. I think at Jason in one of the issues during that Gotham work. So you're kind of right on that. How do we bring Inspector Gadget into this? So, but
knowing Batman, if Batman lost any limb, he would just replace it with like a limb that's a utility belt. It would be everything that's on that thing.
It would have to be.
Yeah, there's no way he'd have like a wine cooler in his knee. He could just pull out like rockets on his feet. There's no way.
Yeah, I think I saw like one. There's like one page where I don't know. It was a story where they're following Alfred's day, and in one issue, and then I guess he packed like some creatine and Batman's his Batwing, his jet, and everything for it. So, I don't. So,
it's always interesting. Like I always think about the because I really like the Metal series, the Dark Knight's Metal, kind of seeing like those alternate versions. I really thought that was cool. So the scene I keep replaying in my head is when he's fighting Superman. Oh, he's always fighting Superman, but he's like fighting Superman, and no one knows why like Superman's wilding out. And like he laser visions his arm off, and then he has his Doomsday serum that turns him into Doomsday, and then boom, it's like he's always got something. He always has to have something. He's got something.
Yeah, with enough prep time,
Yeah,
enough
prep time.
With enough prep time, Batman beats Goku.
Oh Lord. That's gotta be a death battle too at some point.
Yo, you stopped that spirit bomb?
I think honestly, Batman should fight every person that was in Death Battle because because people say every time if Batman has enough prep time, he can be anybody, right? So then he could be anybody.
That's why Batman Off-World is so refreshing right now. Is because the idea of prep time and all that's really getting put into play, and we're seeing that even with some prep time, Batman's still getting whooped. Yeah, he's still getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah,
it's all based on the
exactly.
writer.
It's 100%. It's always about the writer. What the writer decides that this person or that person's gonna do.
Yeah.
So what's your?
That's why. Go ahead.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Sean. Were you gonna say something? My bad.
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh no. So what's your feel? We talked about. We spent about an episode and a half putting the boots on Madam Web, and we're just sort of Okay, but and you know, it feels like right now, just going across the street, that whole MCU, maybe the golden age is sort of over, at least as of right now,
Hmm.
based on movies and even shows.
Yeah.
And my gauge is always my son. How does my son feel about it?
Hmm.
And you know, he's like, he's like the Marvels. I'm good. And
Yeah.
so he's sort of smart to it. And him growing up is on MCU stuff as far as his age group.
Yeah.
I know he didn't grow up with it like the four of us here. So
Yeah.
what's your feel on right now, MCU, the movies, TV shows? Yeah.
There's a few gems in there. Loki's always a heavy hitter. Overall, I'm a big film buff, so I watch all kinds of films. I mean, even this year, I'm up to 26 new films to me. And we're not even out of January yet, so I watch a lot of film.
Yeah.
And I think Marvel just did too much too quickly, and I think that's their big problem. They tried pushing out too much. They pushed, the female leads into the front, taking away from the stories as much. And I'm not even a person that's against any of that or anything like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we're seeing that it's not working out as well. We're seeing that the fans aren't wanting these things. Like when they said Madam Web, I was like, what are you talking about? Who?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what this is. Like, why?
Right.
Out of all the things that you can do, out of all the possibilities,
Madam Web.
you go with Madam Web?
Yeah.
The old woman from the 90s cartoon.
The cartoon.
Like, I don't understand the principle behind
remember
this.
from then.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand. And my friend, he was actually telling me, he was like, I'm kind of excited for this. I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't even know how to be excited for something that does it deal with Spider-Man? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
And then I saw the trailer, and it's just an all-female Spider-Man team. I was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm good on that. Like, you could have incorporated a couple of male Spider-Men in there. Like, if you're gonna try to do a whole little multiple Spider-Man thing, like, you can mix it up a little bit. Don't make it an all-female lead. Like, obviously people don't like that. I don't know why you guys want to continue to try that formula. Like, it's going to be successful the more you try it.
Yeah. It's not tastefully implemented, because like Sony's whole entire Spider-Man led anti-hero / villain universe has just been a mess since day one. And then they tried the slick stuff with trying to connect the universe with the MCU with that whole thing at the end of Morbius. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like when they dropped that Morbius trailer, like, it was to like a lot of people, it was like, oh, it's just another like Spider-Man villain. But then them like incorporating Vulture, I forget his name. You guys know what I'm talking about. Vulture from Tom Holland Spider-Man into this junk, and then trying to merge the two. It's like, what are you guys doing? And now this whole Madam Web thing, there's that big rumor that somehow they were going to connect that to a shared universe with Toby and Andrew.
No.
And then that got discredited like last week. I mean, it's its own universe now.
Yeah.
So it's like, the stuff you guys are creating, is it even like melding together? Well, let's put it out there.
And the other thing I was saying too, with Madam Web, is the Crave the Hunter.
Yeah.
Like,
where does that fall in?
Yeah, like nobody asked for this, and the only way you would think that Kraven the Hunter was important is via Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
It basically, you just made a movie about somebody who gets superpowers, and he's like a mercenary or a hunter. That's it. Like, nobody's gonna know, oh, this guy's from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even and the fans who do know are like, why would I want to come watch this?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense, or maybe the kids who played the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they'll see Kraven from the game, and they'll say, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to go see it because I Kraven was in the video game. But for the majority, I don't see the pull or the desire to go see that movie when there's no point. It's just like a random movie that they just threw out there. Like, yeah, I'm gonna create this, and put it out there. There's nothing that anybody's seen. You know, the trailers kind of show the entire movie, and then even without that, you have just subpar everything, subpar stories, subpar characters. It doesn't make sense without Spider-Man being there, because he is a villain for Spider-Man. Same way with Madam Web. Like, what's the point of Madam Web without Spider-Man? You know, it doesn't. I don't get it. They took villains from a main character and just said, let's make movies about them.
Yeah.
But nobody really cares about them without Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's getting. I think they really Marvel needs to focus on Fantastic Four, you know, and if they're not moving forward with King the Conqueror because of everything going on with Jonathan Majors, then they need to focus 100% on Doom and go down that avenue, because that's going to be their best approach on trying to revive anything left in the MCU.
That's if they don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that exactly, because Fantastic Four has been done a handful of times, and I mean the last one with what was it? Michael B. Jordan. Like what was that?
What's amazing about that? They had such strong cast. Like the cast was so strong as far as the quality of actors. You know, Michael B. Jordan. I've Michael B. Jordan. That's one of my goats. But
yeah, he's fantastic.
And then he turned it around and played, probably in my opinion, the best MCU villain they had as Killmonger.
Killmonger killed it.
Yeah, I like, no pun intended. I think he I think he was the best. He was the best one as far as acting. And but yeah, Doom is my number. I've been saying it forever. That's my favorite villain of all time.
It might jack him up.
Yeah, and exactly
the way Marvel's going, Doom will probably be a girl. And this is it. This is the edgy hero mode. Doom will be a girl.
Yep. Well, here we go.
Mr. Fantastic. They'll gender swap everyone. Everything will be just completely, totally different.
Just cause no reason.
I was
over
talking
that
about
rumor
this.
of Silver Surfer being a girl, but yeah.
Austin, I think your wife actually shared it on Instagram. It was a checklist of all of the Marvel movies you've watched.
Yeah.
And I checked off Shang-Chi, and she didn't check it off. So I was like, you got to watch it.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, bro, like, I feel like people forgot. I enjoyed Shang-Chi. I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was good, but it's like they put Shang-Chi there, right? And then everything else after that was just trash, and nobody even thinks about it. Like, what happened to him? What happened to Shang-Chi? What happened to his story? They had him at the end to go see Wong, and they were talking about where he got the 10 rings and everything else. And then it's just done. And then everything else has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you, like, people don't even remember the movie. It was like a few people I asked, and they were like, wait, what's that?
Did they ever put out the Eternals, by the way?
Yeah. See, I watched but I don't,
Oh, it did. Right.
Another movie with like amazing actors. Like,
Angelina Jolie is part of the MCU. Did you guys see? You guys saw that, right? Everyone saw that. Freaking.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, listen. If
Harry Styles.
Okay.
Harry Styles is in the MCU too, right? You guys know who his character is, because you all saw Eternals.
Oh yeah.
Brother of Thanos, and yet where is that going?
Yeah, that's true. They had a lot of points, I think, that they left in, or that they left open to do things with, but then nothing came from them.
Right.
And I'm like, how do you tie these all together? Because since Avengers and the movies before that, with Iron Man and then the Avengers and the movies after, they all tied in somehow, where it built the universe. So each one kind of blended in together to create the story and push it forward. So you're like, okay, well, this was happening during this time, and this was happening during here. Okay, where's Hulk? Well, he was off world, and all these different things. But now, it's like they put out the movie, and they lead you on to something that's going to happen, and then nothing happens after that. And we're sitting here like, okay, well, I don't know what's gonna happen. And they pop out another, okay, well now we got Kang the Conqueror. Okay, that's cool. Now Kang the Conqueror's gone, and then I guess Doom's coming in, or I don't know if they're replacing Kang, or Jonathan Majors with another actor or something. I don't know, but either way, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. After King got beat by Ant-Man, it's not really.
Yeah, I'll stick with the comics for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way safer.
Yeah. At least
yeah.
It's like, at least I can turn the page if I don't like what I'm seeing and everything. So, I mean, speaking of going back to comics and X-Men, are you on this, Brian? Are you in the mindset that X-Men right now is the best in Marvel as far as comics and quality right now? Because I think they're the most consistent they've been in a long time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Kieran Gillen's probably one of the most talented people coming out of Marvel right now.
Right.
Hands down. Work on the Eternals, work on the X-Men. Everything that going on, everything interconnecting. Al Ewing really playing his part in all of that as well. It's been a fantastic series of events playing, and I've really been enjoying it in a way that any other comic, like X-Men Red, Immortal X-Men, those had me just. Yeah. I cannot wait until these come out. I am so excited. I even though I buy digital, I'll buy the hard copies of those. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'll store them away. There's a handful of comics that I do that with, not a lot because it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
But when what's her face was doing Captain Marvel, I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. She just ended her 50-issue run though.
Oh. I do know who you're talking about. I
can't remember it off the top.
Yeah, I can't get off the top of my head, but she absolutely killed it. And I've been saying it for a while. I came into this wholly as a DC fan when I started this YouTube channel, and I am much more of a Marvel fan now that I am reading comics on a consistent basis and I'm reading all the titles. Right now, DC is putting out absolute garbage. Aside from a handful of titles, DC Comics is just not where it's at. I'm loving Jon Stewart's Green Lantern, even though they kind of went away from him being godlike power levels. Green Arrow has been a lot of fun for me just because I love that it's tackling Amanda Waller and everything, all the BS that she's been doing.
I just started Green Arrow a couple of on episode issue 4. That's just by your recommendation.
But DC is doing so bad in my eyes that when Beast World came out, I didn't even buy the first issue. Yeah. I had no interest in getting into another DC event, though I have heard Beast World is good, and I'm probably going to get into it. I'll probably buy it once like the full little thing comes out with the main issues and not worry about the tie-ins, just cover the main issues. I'll probably do that, but my point is, like, everything that DC has been doing for the most part has pushed me away from wanting to jump into their events versus Marvel. I'm more apt to jump into it and see what's going on with it.
Right now I'm reading, I'm loving Superman personally, and I'm loving Nightwing right now.
I'm a little bit behind on Nightwing, but I have been enjoying Nightwing.
I wasn't much interested in Beast World for one reason or another. But yeah, I think by and large, Marvel's pronouncing them as of right now. As far as
X-Men, the X-Men Krakoa era is definitely, in my opinion, leading the way. But I'm interested to see what happens. They keep on saying it's going to end, but if you pick up X-Force, if you pick up Wolverine, these stories have nothing to do with the end of Krakoa.
Yeah.
They have to do with the Sabretooth War. They have to do with hunting down Beast. So if the Krakoa era is coming to an end and you're going to go back to the status quo, why aren't all of your titles focused on that? Right. I feel like that it's like I said before, I think it's smoke and mirrors. I don't think the Krakoan era is actually going away. I think we're going to see the end of an era and a new era picking up that's still going to continue on in some aspects. Like, they can continue doing what they've been doing and still go back to a status quo. There's no reason they can't put out 2 publications that are opposing in that aspect.
Yeah. Okay. I'm loving Beast. I'm sorry. I'm loving Beast as a villain
That
right now.
yeah, that doesn't mean that they can't reduce the amount of Krakoan titles that are being put out and start, going back to the roots in the mansion in some aspects. But with so many possibilities, Moira being able to restart timelines, like it's so hard to be able to predict in what direction all of this is going, and then you add in the fact that then there's dominions, and then there's multiple dominions, and then there's a bigger dominion that's eating other dominions, and like, how does this play into restarting the timeline? They said that they tried a multiversal reset multiple times, and it didn't work, so that failed. So, how convoluted are we going before we reach the end of this?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yo, poor Sean. Yo, all right, we got.
That's why people ask me, where should I jump in the X-Men comics, and I'm like, at the very beginning, and work your way up, because
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, you can't. There's not a place you can jump in and just start reading it. If you're gonna do that, I would say the Ten of Swords is your best bet to start and work your way from there.
I didn't think about that. I was gonna say maybe Powers or House.
Powers and House is a great place to start, but if you want to start a little bit further on, I think Ten of Swords would be not a horrible place to pick up.
So we got 3.5 minutes left. Should we do our death battle for the next
battle.
and just give shout out so we're out of time. So what did we choose? Did we choose anything?
Kirby versus Godzilla.
All right, Brian, you're our guest. So what are your thoughts?
I think I gotta give it to Godzilla on this one. I just don't think Kirby could swallow Godzilla. And I don't think there's anything Kirby could swallow and throw at Godzilla that's going to do enough damage to Godzilla to hurt Godzilla. And I think one atomic blast from Godzilla is going to see Kirby just split in half.
Yeah. Yo, Galen, let me share my screen if I can. Give me the
hold on 1 second before you
got it.
Gotta do that, bro.
All right, we got 2.5 minutes left, so we gotta hustle.
All right, Kirby has a hypernova ability that allows him to inhale a maximized amount of energy attacks, and it's an instant 1 kill. But not just that, Kirby can swallow himself, and he can go into another universe that can store like a plethora of anything. So I think he could swallow Godzilla.
This is such a cursed image, yo.
That is
so
cursed.
genius.
You know what? Never mind. Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue.
The craziest thing ever, bro. I mean, you know what? Like, I get Kirby. What's so weird about Kirby is that although I love Godzilla, it is kind of trippy because Kirby's got like, from some of the videos I've seen, Kirby's got like an actual universe inside of him.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird.
Yeah. How do you measure that?
Yeah. It's very tough to. But that would be, Godzilla allowing Kirby to get that close.
Yeah.
And by the time he actually consumes them, it would be a while. So I think Godzilla in that time it takes. If Kirby was actually able to cursedly consume them, then Godzilla would definitely be down. But if not, which I think Godzilla would take the cake.
Yeah.
There's no way Kirby's gonna survive a -1 Godzilla -1 heat ray blast. That's
just fanboy.
Sorry, Kirby, you're low tier, my friend, this time around. All right, Brian, we got less than a minute. Any shout outs or plugs as far as the end of our show before we thank you?
No, just check out Comic Breakdown on YouTube. We're covering everything from indie comics to DC, Marvel, you name it, we're covering it. Haven't been covering a lot lately, but we're gonna get back to it. I'm excited about some indie comics that I got coming up. Got some Noctera and Junkyard Joe.
Junkyard Joe, dang. Sounds like someone I owe money to or something. So, all right. Well, there it is. We want to thank Brian so much for joining us. Comic Book Breakdown. Please, we're gonna put a link below, as far as subscription. So please follow him. He does the Lord's work when it comes to comic books. And we'll catch you down the road, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. So much, man.